Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, Big Paul here today with a contest prep update. I haven't done one in a few weeks. About 8 weeks out. Well, yeah, little less than 8 weeks out now from the Masters USA's in Anaheim, California. I think it's November 18th. It's a Sunday, somewhere thereabouts. It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. I'm going to give you an update on everything, including my health, my PEDs, my diet, my training, everything else that's going on with the contest prep right now. And we'll dig into all that in just 1 second. All right, so my vitals for the week. My last check-in with Justin was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Fasted weight was 251. I have daytime weight on here is 285. That is incorrect. It's 255. That was a typo. I've actually dropped a few more pounds since Sunday. I may have to tweak my diet back up. Sometimes I lose weight too fast. That's been my issue in the past, and I end up losing my size. It's a balance between losing weight too fast and not fast enough. I have generally found when I prep my own clients that 3 pounds per week is sort of the upper limit of what you want to lose. When you get past that, you're in serious risk of losing muscle and getting super flat. So I usually target with my own clients fat loss somewhere between 1 to 3 pounds per week. It's going to be less based on body size too. So females are going to have a lower rate of fat loss than men. And the larger the man, the more muscle you have, the more fat loss you can push in a short period of time. I have seen, though, it's usually somewhere between 0.5% to 1% of your body weight seems to be a good number for fat loss per week. And you can do the math on it. A lot of people don't sit down and do the math. So if you want to lose 2 pounds of fat per week, true fat, that is a 7,000 calorie deficit either created through eating less or doing more exercise. And that would be 1,000 calorie per day deficit. So you can see that losing 2 pounds of fat per week is really a lot of work. It's really just math at the end of the day. Everybody gets obsessed with my height. I get guys all the time that say, there's no way I weigh as much as I do, but I am tall. I'm 6'1 3/4. I'm just under 6'2", or I would maybe consider doing classic, but there's no way I could get down to 224 for classic, not without sacrificing some size. I'm sure I probably could. My current blood pressure is 118/73. I had to drop the telmisartan. I usually do when I'm on contest prep. My blood pressure just gets low when I get on contest prep, start doing cardio, lose weight. Clenbuterol makes my blood pressure drop as well. My fasted glucose right now is 89. Health, my shoulder, it continues to be cranky. It's an issue. I know I'm going to need shoulder surgery at some point. It's coming. Both of my labrums are torn. I feel great otherwise. I did have a small IBS flare-up last week. It was my own fault. I had a few too many Monster Energy drinks and some hot sauce. So for the guys that cringe at my very bland food, the reason I eat super bland is because I have IBS. And if I tempt fate with things like hot sauce and sometimes even something as seemingly innocuous as garlic, I end up having diarrhea. So not fun time, so I have to be very, very careful with my food. Check-in pics. Let's see what I look like right now. So currently, this is last week's check-in. It's hard to tell from the pics, man. These, shitty light and everything. I'll show you a video, but front, I'm definitely tightened up a bit from the front. It's really hard to see from the pics, but I don't have a ton of fat on me right now. Usually, the last place the fat comes off of me is on my back half. I still am carrying some fat in my love handles, my glutes. Honestly, my glutes will come in before my love handles do. I'm just weird like that. You can see from the side, pretty lean here. Not a lot of fat. You'll see the stomach here. People ask me about that being fat. I just have scar tissue. I've had a bunch of surgeries on my stomach. I had a abdominoplasty. I had cancer. It's just a bunch of shit. I've had some surgical intervention as far as cosmetic surgery to repair some of the damage from previous surgeries. So the bottom half of my stomach is scarred up and kind of gross looking. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. You can see here what I'm talking about on the back half. I still have love handle fat. I still have fat on my glutes. I still have fat on my hamstrings, but that will come in. I'll show you a video that sort of gives better perspective of what I actually look like. So, this is from posing practice on Sunday. But you can see here what I actually look like. So this is, you can see here, you can see more detail from the actual posing practice. My legs are pretty well in. My legs always come in early. Of course, they could probably be a little more shredded. You can see the bruise on my arm from my English Mastiff puppy who crushed my arm while I was sleeping. Still have a little bit of fat. And people always ask me, I don't know why people get obsessed with my nipples. I just have really small nipples. I don't know what to tell you. And also, when I had my gyno surgery done the second time, I told the dude I wanted every single bit of the gland out of there. And one of the risks that you run with taking every bit of the gland out is that the nipple will collapse, which happened on one side and not on the other. So you can see that as well. I just wanted the gland out because I didn't want to have a third gyno surgery. All right, moving on from here, my current diet, medium days. Justin just made a pretty hard cut on my food. I'm actually feeling it now. It's been a pretty smooth and easy prep thus far. I wasn't feeling like I was even on prep, to be honest with you. I'm probably down, let's see, my daytime weight was up to about 280 when I started, so I'm down 255. I'm down about 16 pounds, 15 pounds in 8 weeks, so about halfway through, something like that. But right now, my medium days, my total calories are 2835. You can see the breakdown of my diet, but I'm doing 380 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and 35 grams of added fat. I note this is added fat. I tried to keep my meats as lean as possible to reduce saturated fats in the diet, and I add in EFAs for my added fats. So fats are relatively low, so there's probably a little more calories and a little more fat in here than what's showing up. I mostly eat chicken, 96% ground beef, cod, occasionally protein powder, but you'll see here the actual breakdown of my diet. But for right now, I would say probably closer to 3,000 would be realistically what my medium days are. Those are my training days that are a non-high day. I do one high day per week. I train 6 days a week. So 5 medium days, 1 high day, and my off day is my low day. The one high day, currently right now, the calories are at 5830. Okay, so that's where I'm at for my high day. There is no added fats on the high day. We want to keep the fats as low as possible. We're pushing the carbs up high. I'm running insulin on the high day for as long as I can. Last year, towards the end of contest prep, I started going hypo, even on a couple units of insulin on my high day. So I couldn't even run insulin. We'll see how it goes this year, and we'll take it from there. But I do have a cheat meal at the end of the day, so the way I time out my insulin, I do Humalog at meals 1, 3, and 5. 5 being my pre-workout meal. It takes me about 2 hours to work out. By the time I get to my post-workout meal, the Humalog has pretty much cleared my system, and then I'll have my higher fat cheat meal. I just estimated that the cheat meal fats are going to be somewhere around 50 grams. I have honestly only taken, at this point, 8 weeks in, I've taken 2 cheat meals. I did have Five Guys for one cheat meal, burger and fries, and this past weekend, my girlfriend and I went out for sushi. Otherwise, I just make an unmeasured meal at home for my last meal, I'll have a little extra. Most of the time, what I do is just make some pasta with 96% ground beef in some marinara sauce. It's really low fat, to be honest with you. It's probably 15, 20 grams of fat at most in that whole meal. I just like having some pasta at the end of the deal. At the end of the day, it's something filling. Low day are my off days. Currently, my calories on low days are 2520, 360 grams of protein, 162 grams of carbs, and 48 grams of added fat. Current PEDs right now are testosterone at 750 milligrams a week, Primo at 600 milligrams a week, Masteron at 800 milligrams a week. I just added in Tren a week and a half ago, something like that, at 140 milligrams a week. I know people are going to laugh at that and say that's a really low dose. It's only 20 milligrams per day. I have found that to be the perfect place for me to be. I can actually still sleep with 140 milligrams per week, 20 milligrams per day of Tren. It doesn't disrupt my sleep. I get, the thermic effects of it. My body, I'm just a furnace and I'm sweating all the time. The body composition effects, and that seems to be a nice spot for me to be. I may push up a little higher. I don't know. When I get up much higher than that, I definitely notice I start feeling awful. Tren makes me look great. Nothing makes me look like Tren does, but it also makes me feel like absolute dog crap. I am doing 9.5 units of HGH per day. 4.5 of that is from Serostim. 5 units of that is from generic. I am not running an AI currently. Usually I have an AI in prep this early out. I have been really trying to see what I can get away with without an AI. I'm experimenting. I usually don't do this with my clients, but I'm seeing what I can get away with. Fat burners right now, it is 2 Go pills per day, 25 milligrams of ephedrine per day, and I forgot to write it on here. I am taking 40 micrograms of clenbuterol right now per day. And that seems to be working right now. I'm tracking. I'm losing body fat without it. And what I'll do with the fat burners is I will only push it up as necessary. And we'll see where things are at. Health supplements. People ask me what I take for health supplements. I've really pared down the amount of supplements I take. I used to take a shit ton of supplements, and to be honest with you, I don't think they do shit. Most of them. There are some that help. Glucose management right now, I'm taking 1,500 milligrams of berberine per day of the suppressor product from First Detachment Nutrition. You can pick it up over there with the discount code AB10 at First Detachment. General health, I take a whole food multivitamin. I take 2 per day. Vitamin C, 5,000 units of vitamin D. I also do a whole greens powder every day. I didn't write that on here. I forget what the name of the brand is. It's, I don't know. I can get it for you guys on the next check-in. Cardiovascular health, I am doing 3,000 milligrams of fish oil, 2,000 milligrams of flax oil, CoQ10, niacin, and citrus bergamot. I did have to pull the niacin out. I was getting really bad hot flashes from the niacin. So I play it by ear with the niacin to see how I feel. For liver, I am using the QRF product from First Detachment, which is Tutka, Milk Thistle, and NAC. And for kidney, I'm using the Renal Reset from First Detachment, which primarily has astragalus in it. And you can pick all those up over at First Detachment with a discount code AB10. There's a link to the products in the video description below. Prescription meds, I did drop the telmisartan. I take pantoprazole as needed for acid reflux. I know all these dudes like to drink goat piss and vinegar and all this other stuff to lower acid reflux, and a lot of that stuff doesn't work in my experience. My acid reflux, I have legit acid reflux, so a proton pump inhibitor is necessary sometimes where my stomach is overproducing acid. I also have heard, and I don't know, there's not like there's research on it, that Tren it's a CNS stimulant, will stimulate the vagus nerve and cause increased production of stomach acid through the proton pump. So something like a proton pump inhibitor may be helpful. I just take it as needed. Mostly I have found I don't get acid reflux if I keep my diet clean. If I keep my diet clean, I generally do not have problems. Training, I am doing a Renaissance periodization style training. I have not been doing the progressive volume. Usually I'll progress the volume up over a 5 to 6 week block. The reason I haven't is because my shoulder's a mess and I have to be really, really, really careful with the volume I'm putting on my shoulder right now. So I am trying not to go over the limit of what my shoulder can handle. So I do a push-pull legs is what I've done in the past, and I train 6 days a week. But what I have done is actually I have 2 push days, and really what I have done is split it up into chest and triceps. I have a leg workout, which is quad focused. I do a pull workout, which is vertical pulling focused for width. I do a push workout that is shoulder focused. I do a second leg workout, which is adductor, glute, and hamstring focus. And then I also do a second back workout, which is horizontal pulling for width. So really, you're hitting everything twice a week, but it's sort of different angles and different parts, really getting detailed with the body parts. So for you guys that think that you are overtrained, I am almost 50 years old, and I'm hitting everything twice a week. And I'm doing somewhere between, 10 to 20 sets per body part per week, somewhere in that range. My current rep scheme, I go close to mechanical failure. I don't go all the way to failure. I just don't even quantify it. I'm not one of these guys. Here's the trade-off. If you're going to go to failure, you have to do less volume. You have to do less frequency. If you're not doing as much as far as pushing the intensity close to failure, then you can get more volume in, you can get more frequency in. So I have found for me at this point in my life that the trade-off, I would rather do more volume, more frequency. I get more out of that, and I can actually hold back a little bit from failure. And I've been doing that for the last 3 years. And I would argue, for those of you that debate this stuff, that I probably have made more progress at this point in my life than just about anybody else in the world at my age. I don't know how many guys that have made the kind of progress I have from 45 to 49. I just don't. If you could name a few, I'd be happy to hear it, but I have gone with this reps in reserve style of training, more of a Renaissance periodization style training, higher volume, higher frequency, and it has worked quite well. I don't do any compound movements, no barbell movements. Well, I shouldn't say compound movements. I do compound movements with things like machine presses and stuff, but I'm not doing any barbell compound movements. Current cardio, Justin has me at 5 times a week at 30 minutes for fat burning. Plans and thoughts, I feel like, I'm right on track. This actually has been a pretty easy prep. Justin cut my food this week. I am dropping weight rapidly, which has happened to me in the past, and I may have to push back up. He seems to think I'll be ready in 4 more weeks. I should be ready at 3 or 4 weeks out. We'll see. I'm going to hold off on putting an AI in for as long as I can. Orals will probably start, and I'm just going to run Anavar this year, I think. Maybe some halo testing at the end. I don't know, but probably just going to run Anavar for the orals. I probably will add that in somewhere around 4 or 5 weeks out. All right, folks, that's all I've got for you today. Please support my sponsor, First Detachment Nutrition, if you want to support me. Link to their products is in the video description below. Discount code AB10 at checkout if you want 10% off, and to show them that I sent you their way. I would appreciate it. Also, pick up Kurt Haven's ebook on HGH at my website. There's also a link to it in the video description below, and I appreciate your support. Thank you. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.